We have an update on CM Punk taking over a WWE brand. Plus, TNA sign an ex-WWE champion, and AEW tease the devil identity on Dynamite. It's all in the Cultaholic Wrestling News right now. CM Punk's not the devil, by the way. Or is he? As we discussed yesterday, CM Punk might be a little bit busy for that sort of thing, and we have an update on that now, don't we, Adam?
We certainly do. According to a report from Fightful, CM Punk has been at the WWE Performance Center the last couple of days to positive reviews. This follows the report that CM Punk is aiming to take over a certain WWE brand. We're talking about NXT. Fightful's new report saying after being on Raw, Punk flew to Orlando to the Performance Center and appeared without being obligated to. Sources we spoke to said that even though he wasn't planned for the show, Punk showed up and spent most of the day at the PC. He was backstage, willing to help anyone who asked for it, and even hanging out with the talent in the lounge. Punk was also watching matches with talent, giving them feedback. Fightful's Corey Brennan also heard that Punk was moving around the area, including Gorilla and behind the hardcam area, and tech crew observing, really getting stuck in here.
Yeah.
He's doing a little bit of everything there. He's watching the matches with the talent. He's doing the production side of things as well.
It's not dissimilar to what he used to do in OVW. He used to quite often bend Paul Heyman's ear and be like, what's that for? What's that for? What are you doing there? What's that? What's that for? Paul Heyman would inevitably send him out for a long wait or some checkered paint.
It's one thing I've heard about him over the entire course of his career is that he gets really hands-on, really, really stuck in. One of the stories that I remember hearing about him, unlike almost any other WWE superstar, that he was really hands-on with his own merch. Because and CM Punk's merch has always been really, really good as well. And he got properly stuck in there. Some people reportedly, I remember these are like 10-year-old reports now, found that quite annoying. But I really admire that. I think it's always really admirable when people want to learn how to do absolutely everything, because you make yourself more useful, don't you?
And you make yourself more money.
Yes.
Why would you be allergic to making money? As we said from the report yesterday, and as Adam has said today, the plan seems to be for CM Punk to succeed Shawn Michaels behind the scenes at NXT, but Wrestle Purist and Fightful have added to that, saying that WWE officials tell Fightful something like this is a long way off. There are currently no immediate plans for Shawn Michaels to wrap up his time at NXT, but it's something that they're looking into for the future. I think the fact that Shawn Michaels has welcomed CM Punk with such open arms, like, hey, come here anytime you want, anything you need, let me know. I wonder whether Shawn's just ready to hand it over now.
Oh, I think he's
tired now, there you go.
It feels like Shawn's having probably a whale of a time. When I hear those NXT media calls, he sounds happy as Larry. It's difficult to tell, isn't it?
However happy he is.
It's also worth mentioning that Shawn Michaels has really sort of advocated for Punk. He was really outspoken. Before Punk came back to WWE, Shawn fairly openly commented on the fact that he would personally welcome him into the fold. They also mentioned in this new report that everybody at the WWE Performance said that Punk has been a pleasure to deal with so far. There's a lot of excitement around Punk being there. Punk has also been taking photos with the NXT talent over the past few days. You might have seen some of those on social media, obviously. You know what? It's a weird one, because if this is Punk's end goal, it sort of feels like his entire WWE run now, this multi-year deal, is sort of a probationary period, trial period of sorts. It's to see how well he gets on, how well I guess he integrates into various different aspects of the business. And feasibly, if it goes well, he might be given a golden handshake at the end of it, and he might become a WWE guy good and proper, which is even more insane.
But think about going back to 1996 and going, that Hunter Hearst Helmsley guy, he's going to be the most important man in the business.
It's nuts. Wrestling is just nuts, isn't it?
It's a wild time.
The whole past couple of years especially have proven never say never is so unbelievably true.
And it continues in that same vein next year, because Impact Wrestling becomes TNA once again. And they've been signing some names left, right, and center, adding another one last night, officially announcing that signed to a TNA contract is former IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion and former WWE Cruiserweight Champion, Kushida.
Hey, good for him. I won't lie, Tom, I thought it was already signed because he's been there a fair bit.
He's done loads there. like he's won an Ultimate X match. He was he reunited with Alex Shelley to form Time Splitters.
Yeah.
He was in the Feast or Fired match. So I don't know what does an independent contractor win if they get a fired briefcase? It's just you can't fire me.
That's true.
We'll just stop. It's a little piece of paper that just says we're going to stop booking you. But he's on the books now. He joins the likes of PCO, Leon Slater, and my guest on the podcast feed this week, Trent Seven, signing to TNA. It was lovely to chat to Trent the other night, a fellow West Midlander.
Yeah, good for him as well.
Yeah.
That was a big surprise when I saw that. With regards to Kushida, I think he's obviously just proved his worth. He had a bit of a rough time, maybe. Didn't do as much as we thought he would within WWE. Like, I thought he was going to be there for quite a while, and he was like a fairly big signing for Triple H as well. Triple H was super, super hot on him. And I know there were various injury issues over his time in WWE. I always expected to see more from him there, but I think some of that was a little bit out of his hands, perhaps. So I'm excited to see what he does in TNA.
Devil has been teased on AEW television. We're going to get into that in a moment, but let's touch on this match they've added to World's End before we get there. Big Bill and Ricky Starks putting the tag titles up against the Golden Jets, Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho. Bit of negativity online for the Golden Jets I've seen. And I know that Twitter is an echo chamber and doesn't really count for the grander scheme of things, but I don't know whether people feel like both parties could be doing more than this tag team.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
I don't
I'm not
mind
especially excited about the pairing or anything. I think it's just fine.
It's just fine, isn't
I
it?
think, mate, I've seen some of that. And I always think that people give Jericho an especially hard time. He obviously faces like accusations of, okay, he links up with the hot new act. He always makes sure that he integrates himself there. And I think there's maybe a little bit of truth to that. But the partnership with Kenny, it's all right.
It's all right,
It's
innit?
fine. I don't know. I'm not offended by it, but again, I get it. They probably could be doing more, couldn't they? It's Kenny Omega and Chris Jericho.
The Golden Fair to Middlin are going to be challenging for the tag titles at World's End. We'll also see the Continental Classic Tournament final, the winner of the Blue Club versus the winner of the Gold Club, and they get a title shot at some point. And then it's MJF and Samoa Joe for the world title, providing that MJF can limp his way to World's End. He has been in the wars lately.
He's knackered, isn't he? Do you see Samoa Joe taking that title?
I think now is the time we do.
Probably. Good for Joe if that happens.
Yeah.
More than worthy, obviously. We'll make our predictions good and proper, won't we, for that?
We certainly will. We'll have predictions for World's End. We'll be doing live reactions to World's End. The night before 2024. We'll be here. Cheers, Tony! Didn't want any time off over Christmas anyway!
Ruin my holiday.
Ruined my holiday. I'm panicking. Gonna lose my job. But so that's happening. So join us for live reactions and join us for what happened at as well. But the big thing I think we're going to see at World's End is the identity of the devil.
I hope so.
I hope so. So Samoa Joe played Dick on Dynamite last night. He thinks it's Hangman Page.
He does. Surmising, Hangman Page was involved owing to the use of a beer bottle on MJF and the lingering smell of Stetson and disappointment.
That line got me.
Really good, isn't it? Bloody love a Joe promo. Page came out, denied it, saying he doesn't care about the devil and the whole mystery. Then after the main event on last night's AEW Dynamite, the devil and 4 of the devil's associates beat up Hangman Page in the parking lot, so you can strike Hangman Page off the list of suspects. Page got his head slammed into the car's glass windscreen, potentially hinting that the devil could be a man who is familiar with real glass in Jungle Boy Jack Perry. That would be a disappointment, wouldn't it?
I feel like the crowd are going to go mild when Jack Perry takes that hood off.
It's not. That's a red herring.
Yeah.
That's a red herring. You know what? I'm actually kind of glad that they've done that because I think that's an obvious red herring. I don't think they would have done that if it's Jack Perry. I might be proven wrong here. And look like a twat,
I'll only be reassured when the red herring is as blatant as they walk into a corridor where the devil and the minions beat people up, and there's just a big thing on the wall says, "It probably is Jack Perry." That would make me feel better about it being a red herring. I still think, and I put this out there last week with Andrew, I think Kyle O'Reilly. Out here in the fields. I think Kyle O'Reilly, because he's nearly coming back.
Yeah, he's been
Undisputed Era type thing. Maybe Adam Cole's involved as well.
He's been backstage recently as well. Although there weren't reports of him floating backstage when they started doing the devil stuff, and apparently the devil has been played by the actual devil the whole time. But I don't know how true that is. I think they're in a difficult position here because this is a much hyped storyline, and I can't think of anybody who is available that fans won't be a little bit disappointed by. Even like an ex-WWE thing, like Mustafa Ali or a Ziggler, or like some of those releases that happened where the no-compete is now elapsed. I think they're in a really horrible position. I think it should be Tony Khan, because I think it'd be the funniest thing in the world.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
Where's me? It would be so good.
I mean, if you can't convince them, confuse them. They go to take the devil mask off and it doesn't come off. Turns out that's just his face. And it's just the devil and he's the wrestler. He's the devil now. Devil is all elite.
They brought back Marco Stunt, but they made him have like 40 grand's worth of plastic surgery to look like that all the time. Oh, that's all right.
It's Marco Stunt and Taz in a body costume. Your thoughts on who it is down below. And we'll have more wrestling news throughout the day, of course, at cultaholic.com. And make sure you make time to catch up on parts 1 and 2 of WWE's Golden Age, our most ambitious documentary series ever. Justin Henry on the writing, Matt Stewart, Sam Driver on the edit, and Sam Driver's dulcet tones over the top of it. I think it's the best stuff we've ever done.
It's unbelievable. And a new episode coming out this Sunday as well.
Premiering as well. YouTube.com/cultaholic for more. Stay safe and love you. Bye.